Sri Gurubhyo Namaha. It's more than 3 months since we met in the school. I recall those wonderful days where I used to meet you at 7:45 for my personality development classes. From this week, we'll be giving you that. You know, whatever that you do in a classroom is very important. Your examinations are very important. Your scoring highest mark is very important. That will help you to get a seat in the university. It will get you a good job. But there is a difference between a job and a career. Job is the entry point. Career is what you make out from your job. This is where personality development becomes very, very important. That's why in our school we believe in developing personality. We say that we develop personality, of course we also educate. Today I am going to discuss page 167 of my book, 365 Exciting Ways to Live. Page 65, page 167. 365 exciting ways to live. You know, we have 365 days in a year, and each day has to be exciting. You cannot decide how the day should arrive. You cannot decide how the day should end. You can control some of your activities. You may pick up a job of your choice, but what should happen in the job, you may not be able to decide 100%. That's why this wonderful quotation I have quoted in page 167 is an amazing quotation from Steve Jobs. Your job is going to fill a large part of your life. And the only way to be truly satisfied is to do what you believe is great work. What you believe is great work. And the only way to do great work is to love what you do. If you haven't found it yet, keep looking. Don't settle. As with all matters of the heart, you will know when you find it. Steve Jobs. You know, Steve Jobs transformed the mobile industry, mobile phone industry. Even today, those who use the Apple products, they will not use any other products. He redesigned the Apple computers. The computer industry went through a transformation. We can say computers before Steve Jobs, computers after Steve Jobs. Smartphones before Steve Jobs and smartphone after Steve Jobs. In this page 167, I have discussed about how Michelangelo painted the Sistine Chapel. For nearly 3 years, he was painting the ceiling. Michelangelo is not a painter, he was a sculptor originally. The king or the pope ordained him to do the painting. Over 350 paintings he did. Read that article, read that page, you will understand what made him to go through the pain and suffering. In a few years from now, all of you will be deciding your career. Some of you would like to become a doctor, engineer, chartered accountants, IAS officer, police officers. Who knows, some of you will become a politicians. Whatever you are going to choose, love it. You may become a teacher, love it. You may become a stage artist, love it. You may become a journalist, love it. When you are inspired by some great purpose, some extraordinary project, all your thoughts break their bounds. Your mind transcends limitations. Your consciousness expands in every direction and you find yourself in a new, great and wonderful world. Dormant forces, faculties and talents become alive and you discover yourself to be a greater person by far than you ever dreamed yourself to be. These are the words of Patanjali. I have discussed it several times in our PD class. Your inspiration is from inside. Your inspiration cannot be forced on you. What makes a cricketer play a difficult innings? What makes a cricketer to face a ball which comes to him at 165 kilometers per hour in a hot sun? What makes a shuttlecock player like PV Sindhu saying no to junk food, saying no to smartphone, saying no to ice cream for years together before winning that honor for India, loving what they are doing? In this episode, immediately after my speech, your teachers will present a TEDx episode, TED Talk episode. This is about a police officer, Amit Lodha. Listen to him, it will be inspiring. In fact, he starts the meeting or his presentation saying, how many of you would like to be a police officer? And he says the image of a police officer is what all of us know. But then he says how he became a police officer and what difficulties he went through. Amit Lodha is one of the versatile persons who is not only a police officer of fame, but is a novelist, is a tennis player, squash player, a music buff, and of course an IPS officer. Listen to him. He says, at a very young age he tasted success. At an young age of 25 years he became the SP of Nalanda. And he thought that life will be going up like this. But then came a change. With a change of government, he was pushed to an insignificant job without bodyguards, without any recognition. And he says he was very upset. And he became angry for silly things. It started affecting his family life, he says. But then he was inspired by a great cause. He was asked to go and nab a dreaded criminal. A dreaded criminal who killed on a day 15 people, murdered. And listen to him, how horrific this person was. And listen to his narration for 20 minutes. What challenges he had to face. How his own colleagues in the police department were on the other side. This type of stories you listen, you see only on movies. Your favorite hero will play this role. But all of you know that such novels or such movies were written by somebody, story, somebody write the dialogue, somebody plays the role after receiving a very high salary. But listen to this, Amit Lodha. It is a challenge, a life is a challenge. As I said, you are going through the last 3-4 years of your school days. Only after the plus 2, you will understand what life is. A transition from school to university is completely different. The transition from the university to the job is completely different. The transition from job to career is even more different. Listen to this. Every week I would like to present one such episode, and at the end of the TED Talk I want you to do an exercise. take a piece of paper, write down what is your goal in 10 years from now, and make a collage of yourself in that job. Let's say that if you want to become a doctor, make a collage, make a painting. Visualize yourself that you are in that job 10 years from now and start dreaming about it. You start loving it. The more and more you love a job, you like what you do. If you don't love a job, even small obstacles will be a big hindrance. This is what Amit Lodha says. Some of you or your parents would have seen the 1970s, sometime around that time, Sholay. Amjad Khan will come as a dreaded criminal. That type of a real life incidents. Listen to Amit Lodha. All the best.